Hello everyone. Welcome to Happy Science Meditation Seminar. I'm Bob Imai, Minister of Happy Science. Thank you for joining us today. First of all, let us recite Prayer to the Lord. Prayer to the Lord. Our Lord, El Cantare, you are the source of all light, all power, all wisdom, and all love. May you give us light, give us power, give us wisdom, and give us love. O Lord, our Father, please protect this plant of love earth. Protect us from all evil, and open the future for us. O Lord, thank you for giving us light. We give thanks from the bottom of our hearts. Thank you again for joining us today. Today also we like to study this book, The Laws of Happiness. And today's subject I would like to talk about is Introduction to Happy Science. At this time of more than 30 years after the founding of Happy Science, so that I myself can talk about the meaning of becoming a member and our basic teachings. Master Okawa held numerous lectures, more than 3,000 times. Even so, he has never given the same lecture more than once. That is his style. This might make difficult for members to learn them all. But this decision comes from his inner conscience. It feels important for Master to have the mindset of getting his heart into each new lectures as if creating a new masterpiece. Master Okawa is continually seeking for the laws which have universal aspects. I have been preaching in many different ways the constant laws of the mind. With the diversity of human life in this world, and have been teaching that through living by these laws, we human beings will become happier. And when we sway off the cause of these laws, we will become unhappier. From the beginning, we have called this approach to the mind that makes people happier is exploration of the right mind. It's difficult to say it simply, but this righteousness we seek in the end is a mind that accords with the laws of the original God who created the great universe. We've been told the principles of happiness as concrete teachings for exploring the right mind. You may want to ask me, then, what does it mean to seek for righteous mind? I would answer by saying, it's to seek the principles of happiness. And if you focus on the principles of happiness and make efforts, you will become happy. The principles of happiness is a principle that is not on its own, but is a way of thinking containing other principles. The first is the principle of love. The second is the principle of wisdom. The third is the principle of self-reflection. And the fourth is the principle of progress. Aside from this, I've spoken about many additional principles, so there are, of course, many ways to become happier, an overflowing number of ways. But if I were to sum up the principle of happiness, they would come down to love, wisdom, self-reflection, and progress. I call these four principles the modern fourfold path. The first principle is the principle of love. You are suffering because you are thinking about getting something from others. This is the love that early Buddhism of long ago called attachment. At the level and the love that I have been teaching, the love that gives was called not by the word love, but by the word compassion in early Buddhism. The love that I am teaching, therefore, is not the love of an attachment, but the love of compassion. Compassion only knows to give. It never seeks return. In the worldly sense, I could have chosen to call it by the word compassion. But that's an old word that people may not easily understand nowadays. So, translated into modern terms, I call it love that gives. To take this teaching on love further, I have also discussed the different stages of love and the laws of the sun. It begins with fundamental love, the nurturing love, followed by forgiving love, and finally, love incarnate. The first one is fundamental love. It's a love for your neighbors, family, friends, and those who are around you every day. Next, there is nurturing love. It requires the use of wisdom. This love is the love of leader, the love that comes from those who guide others. In addition to that, there is the right religious state of love, which is called forgiving love. When this teaching of love spreads throughout the world, humanity will find more happiness. The second principle of the principles of happiness is the principle of wisdom. The principle of wisdom, of course, teaches that to study the knowledge of the truth should be our standpoint, studying like this. Also, at the same time, it teaches that we couldn't allow this knowledge to stay at the purely intellectual level. Instead, we should transform this knowledge into wisdom based on our real life experiences of enlightenment, missionary work, and life in the workplace. It is possible to gain as much knowledge of the truth as you seek. This is the reason why it's important to turn your knowledge of the truth into wisdom. At the same time, our organization, Happy Science, remains open to the world of knowledge and information so that we don't become an outdated religion. Now let us watch Master Oka's lecture titled Happiness in This World and in the Next. The content of this lecture is on happiness in happy science and the essential part of the truth. Let us watch.
The happiness that can be carried from this world to the next. Now, what exactly is the kind of happiness that we learn at Happy Science? While we often encounter the so-called theories of happiness, which focus only on this world, what we learn in our institute is the way of life that allows us to attain happiness in this world as well as in the next. We call this kind of happiness happiness that continues both in this world and the other. In other words, we wish you to live a life full of joy in this world, yet at the same time wish that your happy life would accompany you even after returning to the other world upon death. We advocate this way of life and wish for you to put it into practice. Of course, some people live unhappily in this world and then become unhappy in the other world as well. Some appear to be living happily in this world, but are unhappy after death. Some who appear to be unhappy in this world, but become happy in the next. Finally, there are some who are happy in this world and continue to be happy even after death. Simply put, there are 4 possible courses. What I recommend is the last of the 4, to be happy both in this world and the other, which is ultimately the best. I acknowledge a definite degree of meaning for life on earth, though it lasts only for several decades. Human beings are not merely repeating a senseless journey. There are reasons for being born. There is a purpose in the decades of life on earth. We have come here to learn something, and then return to the real world with what we have learned. This is our fundamental philosophy. So, I do not completely deny this world. Rather, I accept it as a training ground, a place where we learn and refine our souls. It is a very happy way of life to be able to acquire a bounty of nourishment for the soul and feel joy in this world. This way of life will allow you to achieve happiness in the other world as well. You might feel that life of several decades is rather long, but if it is calculated in days, the average lifespan is only 20,000 some days. You do not have 100 or 200,000 days, but only 20,000 or so. So like grains of sand in an hourglass, the days fall one after another, and after 20 or 30,000 days, everyone leaves this world. Certainly, it can be said that our life is very short. The important thing is how much you can experience and grasp during this length of time. We live our lives in order to gain these precious experiences. For this purpose, we are born as babies, attend school, become adults, find jobs or get married, have families, fall ill, and age until we finally leave this world. It is only 20 or 30,000 days. Thus, it is critically important to make this period as ideal as possible, so as to achieve spiritual progress before we return to the other world.
The third principle is the principle of self-reflection. As human beings, we inevitably make mistakes, and we have been given the freedom to do so. But our mistakes are forgiven because we are also capable of repairing them. We are prone to making mistakes, but we were also created with the ability to reflect on them. Because we have the ability to practice self-reflection, we are able to undo our mistakes. Fourthly, there is the principle of progress. I gave this teaching as one for this modern age. In Buddhist terms, this is the creation of Buddha-land utopia, a God's utopia. In the earthly sense of the word, I hope that people who learn the truth will become successful. I hope they attain the kind of happiness that they can bring with them from this world to the other world. Since I've given clear teaching on the other world, I don't think that happy science believers would ever seek only a worldly happiness. Happy science's essential teaching is to explore the right mind, and concrete teaching that will help you do this is the teaching of the principles of happiness, the fourfold path. Also, if you look closely, you will see that I have given various teachings that can be summed up into the three themes of love, enlightenment, and the creation of utopia. I hope that this seminar has provided you with the modern introduction to happy science. Now let us practice four-stage meditation, which is the basic meditation of happy science. Before practicing meditation, let me recite prayer to Guardian and Guiding Spirit. Prayer to Guardian and Guiding Spirits. My Guardian and Guiding Spirits, deep inside of me, you are the fountain of life, the light of hope, the source of wisdom, and the shield of courage. Every day, may you help me develop my soul and refine my mind. Every day, may you give me inspiration and show me the right path to follow. Please protect me from all evil and guide me in living a better life. For this, I give my thanks. Now let us practice four-stage meditation. Let us begin. Just follow the guidance of Master Okawa.
Please calm your mind and straighten your back. Relax your shoulders and harmonize your breathing. Gently close your eyes We will now begin the meditation of the flowing stream. Place your hands on your lap with your palms facing upward. Now calm your breathing and let yourself flow like the water of a clear stream. We will now enter the second meditation. This is the meditation of the wind and cloud. Remove yourself from this world and fly up to the distant world. Become the clouds high above, looking down at the world below. Leave your hands as before and receive light from heaven. Become the wind and fly upwards. Now, become the clouds drifting across the sky. We will now enter the third meditation. This is the full moon meditation. There are several versions. The first is to visualize the full moon. The second is to contemplate on the full moon reflecting on a lake. The third is to enter the full moon and become the moon itself. We will be practicing the third version. Please visualize the full moon and become the moon itself. The true essence of a child of God shines brightly like a full moon. Gently bring your hands together in prayer. Perhaps you have attained serenity in this third meditation. In the fourth meditation, you will feel further happiness. Firstly, you will converse with your guardian spirit. If you calm your mind and open your heart, you will begin to receive guidance from your guardian spirit who has been watching over you since you were born.
How was the meditation? The first meditation, the meditation of flowing stream, that is the metaphor of your state of mind, that is clear mind, as a state of no attachment. The second meditation, meditation of winds and clouds, that will remind you as a spirit when you are in the spirit world. You are freely fly up to the sky. That is your true figure of yourself. And third meditation is meditation of full moon. That will show you your true self as a golden light, or just a perfect circle, round shape of your mind. that is your true self, and harmonization of your mind. Lastly, could you communicate with your guardian spirit? You can get the inspiration. Maybe you have a mission. So please practice 4-stage meditation every time. And please convey the teaching of happy sense like this to the people around you to make people happy. Master Oka is preaching this teaching to make people in the world happy. So you are the missionary. First, I'd like you to practice the truth and obtain the wisdom. Thank you very much for joining us today. I will see you next week. I'm sending the message from Japan next week. Thank you very much for joining us today. I'll see you next.